Mr. Toro, let me come to you with this thought. There is a conversation in the public space saying that it's more than just the sack of 800 workers, and that why is it that Pengas and your union are always trying to weaponize a strike to drive home some other interests. Like people say the game actually started when some people said, look, they prefer to be importing fuel, and Dangote was busy providing, we have the local refinery, and they said they wanted imported fuel. At some point, also the argument was that he wanted to provide 4,000 trucks to begin to supply directly, and some persons' interests were against it. And now you have the strike issue. Is it about the strike or about the trucks and the argument in the public space that it is just a political gimmick to kind of weaken the influence and capacity of Dangote? I'd like you to respond to this.
Well, you see, to hang a dog, you give it a bad name. The assertion that there was sabotage is not correct. The reason why Dangote, came out to say workers were sabotaging him was to cover his track. I told you earlier we had an understanding signed by both parties that status quo ante will be maintained, that arising from the last meeting and resolution we had, no worker will be victimized. Dangote has violated that. He has victimized and laid off our workers. So he needed something to justify his action. And that is why he's hiding under the guise. Why didn't Dangote go back to the ministry to say, there is sabotage, I want to sack? Or like Barrister said, go to court and said, we had an understanding, I'm a gentleman, I signed an understanding with the labor unions that no worker will be victimized. But right now I'm confronted with sabotage and therefore I want to go to court. All of that was not done. All of that was not done, only for him to arbitrarily dismiss them. The issue, the crux of the matter is the fact that these workers have joined Pengassi. And from all indication, it seems as if Dangote and the union cannot relate in the same environment. That was why I took you down history, that even in the United States of America, the hub of capitalism that is profit-driven, there are unions. Unions are human beings. And first thing first, they understand that their means of livelihood comes from that workplace. We had had cause to commend Dangote several times for providing jobs for Nigerian citizens. But what we will not accept from Dangote is providing slave labor. Slave labor in these circumstances is denying them their right. Maybe even more disturbing is, in our opinion, the monopoly and double standard of Dangote. This person in question enjoy massive support, protection, and incentives from the government, but turn around to deny Nigerian workers their fundamental right, while extending preferential treatment to expatriates within the same system. This is nothing short of economic oppression and modern-day slavery. And we are saying no, that is not acceptable to Pengassi and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria.
Now, Mr. Toro, a consumer group claims that the union's protest is a desperate attempt to cripple the refinery, Dangote refinery. And you, on the other hand, are saying is a protection of workers' rights. Now, the federal government and Nigerians are in the middle. And the federal government is saying that it hopes that both parties will resolve this matter in good faith. Now, is there any chance of Dangote and Pengassi reaching a middle ground in this matter?
Absolutely. In industrial relations, is give and take. We are not maintaining any hard stand. We are open and available for discussion. If Dangote, for instance, reinstates these workers right away, we will give instruction to our members to resume work immediately. That is the crux. It's just our concern is violation of over 800 workers' rights and the dismissal. So, very simple. If today Dangote, reinstate those workers, I can tell you for free, we are ready. We are ready to also maintain status quo ante.
Okay, Delon, let me come to you with this. Is it that Dangote is scared of the union? Because if there was an agreement, and you did not go back to the same body that brokered the agreement. You decided to unilaterally sack 800 workers. That is huge in any system. It has capacity of destabilizing the system. So what is the Dangote refinery or Dangote group scared of about union?
Well, you see, I am not a part of the Dangote group. Neither do I know their policies. But my own impression is that since what is in issue, we are all Nigerians, and we've seen what our four moribund refineries have fed us for decades. At this particular time, I expect the government, and I still go back to government, that it is the government that owns this as a duty and responsibility to wade into this issue and then be able to do what? Resolve it, and then if there is any infraction, like I said, based on what they signed, call the groups to order, and then can now on that scale ask Dangote to explain if 800 Nigerians will go home over this issue, and they have family and they have future, then it will happen that. But for the government itself to be on the sideline and then allow Dangote and Pengassin to go on for basically more than a month over this sensitive issue, and now it has generated to a level of strike and the rest. We shouldn't do this. This is not it is incumbent on the government and then whatever regulatory agency that is involved to step into this. Now call the parties together and then come to them order. If you have a memorandum of understanding or a resolution, the minister was the person who was at the head when this happened, then it is left for them now to look at the issue. And then the other interests involved, we cannot definitely take away the other interests over importation and subsidy we have said all through. This has been a generational body, more or less. So as at this issue, what I feel is that the government should wade into the fore, take an objective stance. We are all talking about governance and this. United States, he gave an example. Let us go back to United States. In 1962, precisely 1st of October, then James Meredith issue. University of Mississippi was an all-white university. J.F. Kennedy felt that having sworn to protect and deserve and defend the constitution of this country, he marched Meredith, the first black man who was to that university that day, use U.S. Marine and the FA power. One person died, but he went to that university, and that was the end. So the government should be able to read the Riot Act, then, if possible, with what? The big stick, in order to do what? Keep order and sanity within the basic area where it is. I am not standing for Dangote. I'm not a part of Dangote. I have not even seen the letters of employment of what is involved. I wasn't a part of the negotiation. I did not see their resolution. But what I said is this, that the average Nigerian will now pay for this.